The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Four signs that God is absent in your marriage. This is for you who are already in a relationship, you who are planning to be in a relationship soon. You can see, certain signs, some things that they are not quite right in your relationship, and you want to know if, the author of love, God himself, the love himself is still there or not. So let's go and show the first one, please. Yes, actually the first and the second, but let's focus on the first one. Selfishness and pride prevail over love. Pastor Lucas, again, this is, the idea promoted by the fake love promoted in the world. So if someone loves me, they have to accept in the way I am. They have to, to meet all my needs. They have to do whatever I want, because if you don't do it, I'm sorry, you don't love me, because this is who I am.
So for the world, love is all about themselves.
Yeah.
It's all about myself, my needs, what I want, what I am, and you need to please me. But love is the opposite. To love is to give, is to please, is to make the other person happy, right? So another misconception. So love in the world is selfish and is proud, like it says. It's proud because you don't want to change, right? You're not humble to recognize when you need to change.
The proud one is full of himself. So if I'm full of myself, there is no room for me to receive, something. And the idea of a marriage is when you have two, when you and me become we, right? So you have to merge. It has to happen a fusion. But if you are full, if one of these, one of the parts in the couple, they are already full of themselves, how on earth they will be able to merge, to be one? It's impossible. And that's the problem of pride. Pride doesn't allow you to be filled because you're already full, right? And the other point about selfishness, we can see that that's completely, away from the true love. Because, Pastor Lucas, when we see what the true love did for us, we can understand, the real meaning of love. Love is not something that, as you were saying, is not by, by what I take. What can I take from you? What can I take from you? What can you give me? But quite the opposite. Love is about what can I give to you? What can I offer to you? The author of love himself, when he wanted to demonstrate his love, to prove his love, to the whole world, the Bible says that he didn't, buy a bouquet of flowers or roses and say, oh, that's my love for you. He didn't write a card, and give us a card. But he gave, not the best angel he had in heaven. He didn't give, the best archangel or someone there in heaven, but he gave his son. And, if you are a mother or father, you know very well, when you think of the idea of your son, your daughter being hurt, the first thing that crosses your mind is, no, please don't do it. I prefer to suffer this pain instead of seeing, my children suffer this pain. So when God was giving his son for us, Pastor Lucas, actually he was given more than that. He was giving himself, more than himself. So that's the idea of love. Is a surrender. It's not about what can I take from you, but quite the opposite. What can I give to please you, to complete your life?
Yes, Jesus, he was selfless. He was selfless. The opposite of selfish. He was selfless and humble.
Yeah.
So he was love itself. And look at Jesus, how he was. He was humble. If there was someone who could be proud, it was God. He's perfect. If there was someone who could demand anything, this person was God, and yet he didn't.
Yeah.
He was selfless, he gave himself, and he was humble.
Yeah, exactly. You love each other but you cannot stay together. You know, unfortunately, we know couples that they are in a similar situation, but we can say, Pastor Lucas, that situations like that, couples that they still love each other, they cannot imagine, you know, their lives without each other, but when they are together, physically together, in the same room, in the same environment, for them it's like a war, it's a battle, it's uncomfortable. But why? Most likely because the first point that we just mentioned is affecting that. So how many couples I already advised, I believe you had already this experience, couples that they come to us and say, look, I still love my husband, I still love my wife, but it's simply impossible to live with them. It's impossible. We can't stay in the same room. Couples that they love each other so much that they come together seeking help, but even there, when they are before us, you know, taking, you know, spiritual advice, they start fighting just before us. It's impossible for them to be together. You know why? Because of the same thing. That's a sign that also God is absent.
And we see couples when they separate, they realize they love each other.
Yeah.
When they are living in different places and going through divorce, they really miss each other. They know they need to be together. They are meant to be together. But their pride, their selfishness, they are not willing to sacrifice, to change, to recognize their mistakes. And when they come together, they only fight.
Yeah.
They only remember of the bad things. And they cannot be in the presence of each other because they lack this humbleness. They lack the willingness to say, I'm sorry, forgive me, I'm going to change, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, these are almost forbidden words in their relationship. I'm sorry, forgive me. It's almost forbidden to mention that, which is a big problem. Let's continue then, because all these points, they are connected to each other. Let's go to the next one, please, Adir. Third sign, you no longer recognize your partner and vice versa. You know, this is also a problem when people, they exclude each other from their lives. And it is a way for you not recognizing your partner. So you think, you know what, let me take my decisions, let me make my decisions by myself. You know, okay, we're still together. We have here, you know, a document that proves that we are, you know, a married couple. But you know what? Let me live my life, you live yours, and that's it. This lack of recognition. They don't have, you know, the ability to share their ideas, to sit down, to make decisions together. So that's also a big problem.
And also, they no longer recognize themselves because at the beginning it wasn't like this. When they first met, when they were dating, when they got married, a honeymoon, it wasn't like this. They were open to each other, sincere. They let each other participate in their lives. They shared their thoughts. They did everything to please each other. But something changed along the way. Something changed, and now you don't recognize your partner anymore. It's not the same thing, the same person. The person changed, not for better, but for worse. And in a marriage, that's why, Pastor James, we are doing the couples month, because a marriage is something we need to work on constantly.
Yeah.
Some people, they think that once you get married, that's it. You'll be set for life. But no, everything in life needs maintenance, needs repairs, needs improvement. Marriage is no different.
Yes. The fourth sign that God is absent of a relationship, you constantly think and speak of separation. Yes, the forbidden word, Pastor Lucas,
Yes.
the D word,
Divorce,
Yes.
separation.
Yes, that's the forbidden word.
It's so hurtful
Yeah.
when you hear from your partner this word, separation, divorce.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It destroys any argument.
Yeah.
Nothing good can come once you mention these words.
It kills hope.
It's like you're giving up.
Yeah.
It's like you say, there's no more solution. There's no way out. it's over here, we get a divorce, we are separating. These words are prohibited,
Yes.
we can say,
Yeah.
right?
As you were saying yesterday, there are very few, situations where we can say, okay, divorce is necessary.
Exactly.
But there are so few that we can say most of times it's possible for you to
Yeah.
save
They are
your
the
marriage.
exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
They're the exception.
Yeah,
Not the rule like in the world that for any little thing,
yeah. It's a reason
They-
for that.
they come with the divorce. And by the way, in the world, they even have these prenup
Yeah.
agreements.
Yeah.
In case the marriage doesn't work, they already have the letter of divorce all set up. How
Yeah.
they're going to divide the
goods.
the properties, and so on and so forth. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, because you're starting something that was supposed to be forever, setting an end. Okay, if it doesn't work, so that's how
It's like you determine it's going to fail.
Yeah, you're
Right?
saying, sooner or later that will come to an end. So at least we are ready for that, ready for the end. So it's quite hard. Imagine you getting married to someone, and you have to talk about it. So look, let's get married, but let's
In case it doesn't work,
Yeah,
that's
imagine how terrible will be that.
horrible.
It's
horrible.
my goodness. I can't imagine that.
The solution, if God is absent in your marriage, is to invite God for your marriage. Into your marriage, invite God. One of the ways is to come on Thursdays for the love therapy and fight alongside God. God, we're going to fight together. Imagine, Pastor James, if this person invites God to his or her battle and they fight together, there's no way they're
Yeah.
going to lose this battle.
Yeah.
Because God and you the majority. You're stronger than any problem.
And by the way, that was exactly what happened, in the first miracle that Jesus performed. That, by the way, was in a wedding feast when they ran out of wine. Jesus was there, to fix the problem only because he was invited to be there. Because if Jesus wasn't invited to be there, that wedding feast would end up in a shame.
They were lucky on the list of the guests.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus was there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They
They
made
were-
a good decision, right?
They invited Jesus. So
Yeah.
that's what this person needs to do.
Yeah.
Invite Jesus, invite God to your
Invite the author of love
marriage.
to be present in your marriage. Okay.
The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.